Chapter 12: Attachment Theory and the Cell Danger Response. Introduction: The role of early relationships in trauma. Attachment theory, developed by John Bowlby, emphasizes that the bonds formed between infants and their primary caregivers shape their emotional and psychological development. These early attachment experiences influence how individuals relate to others, regulate emotions, and respond to stress throughout their life. When children experience trauma or disruptions in these early bonds, such as inconsistent caregiving, neglect, or abuse, it can create insecure attachment patterns. These attachment wounds impact not only emotional health but also the body's physiological responses, particularly the cell danger response, CDR. This chapter explores the connection between trauma, attachment theory, and the CDR, as well as therapeutic approaches that support healing, such as brain spotting, clay field therapy, and family constellation work. Prenatal and birth trauma, the earliest roots of the cell danger response. Trauma can begin before a child is even born. Prenatal trauma, such as maternal stress, illness, or exposure to environmental toxins, can have profound effects on the developing fetus. Similarly, birth trauma, including complications during delivery, can trigger early activation of the CDR. When a fetus experiences trauma in the womb or during birth, it disrupts critical cellular signaling pathways. This early activation of the CDR may have long-term consequences for the infant's physical and psychological development, influencing their ability to form secure attachments and increasing their susceptibility to stress. The role of maternal cortisol in fetal development. One of the primary mechanisms through which prenatal trauma impacts the fetus is elevated maternal cortisol levels. Cortisol, a stress hormone, crosses the placental barrier, affecting the developing brain and nervous system. Chronic exposure to maternal cortisol can alter fetal brain development, particularly in areas responsible for emotional regulation, such as the amygdala and prefrontal cortex. Increase the fetus's sensitivity to stress, making the child more likely to experience chronic CDR activation and future attachment challenges. Birth trauma and the CDR. Birth itself can be a significant source of trauma, especially in cases of premature birth, emergency C-sections, or difficult labor. This type of trauma immediately activates the CDR, which can alter the development of the child's nervous system, leading to challenges in attachment and emotional regulation. Early trauma primes the infant's body for a heightened stress response, which may affect how they bond with caregivers and process future stress. The 4 attachment styles and trauma. Attachment theory categorizes early relationships into 4 primary attachment styles, each of which impacts how individuals respond to trauma and regulate emotions. Secure attachment. Characterized by trust and emotional security, children with secure attachment have caregivers who provide consistent emotional support. Securely attached individuals are better equipped to deactivate the CDR after stress and return to a state of homeostasis. Insecure avoidant attachment. In this attachment style, the child learns to suppress their emotional needs because caregivers are emotionally unavailable. Even though these children appear detached, their bodies remain in a heightened state of alert, with the CDR continually activated. Insecure anxious attachment. Children with inconsistent caregiving develop anxious attachment, characterized by heightened emotional reactivity and fear of abandonment. The constant fear activates the CDR, leading to prolonged states of hyperarousal. Disorganized attachment. Often resulting from trauma or abuse, disorganized attachment combines fear and confusion in relationships. These children view their caregivers as both a source of comfort and danger. As a result, the CDR is chronically activated, increasing the risk of PTSD, emotional dysregulation, and physical health issues like chronic inflammation. The connection between attachment, trauma, and the CDR. When early attachment is disrupted, it not only affects emotional regulation, but also triggers the CDR. As already explored, the CDR, designed to protect cells from threats, remains perpetually activated in cases of unresolved trauma, leading to long-term physiological changes. For example, when the CDR is chronically engaged, individuals may experience persistent inflammation, immune dysfunction, and mitochondrial damage. These physiological effects, combined with attachment wounds, contribute to the emotional and physical challenges faced by individuals with insecure or disorganized attachment styles. Therapeutic approaches to heal attachment wounds and the CDR. Addressing both emotional and physiological trauma requires holistic therapeutic approaches that target both the body and the mind. Below are key therapeutic interventions that can help deactivate the CDR and heal attachment wounds. Brain spotting. This therapeutic approach focuses on unprocessed trauma stored in the brain's subcortical regions. By targeting specific eye positions, brain spotting helps individuals access and release stored emotional energy linked to attachment trauma. This method supports the nervous system's regulation and helps deactivate the CDR, allowing for emotional and physiological healing. Clay field therapy. Also known as sensory motor art therapy, clay field therapy provides a nonverbal way for individuals to process attachment trauma. By working with clay through tactile interaction, individuals release trauma stored in the body, helping to calm the nervous system and reduce chronic CDR activation. Family constellation work. This therapeutic approach explores the transgenerational transmission of trauma, particularly how unresolved trauma from past generations influences current attachment patterns. By mapping out family dynamics, family constellation work helps individuals recognize and release inherited emotional burdens, reducing the activation of the CDR and promoting healing across generations. Somatic therapies. Somatic approaches, such as somatic experiencing, SE, and trauma-releasing exercises, TRE, help individuals process trauma stored in the body. These therapies focus on releasing physical tension and calming the nervous system, allowing the CDR to deactivate and restoring emotional regulation. Client-therapist alliance and limited reparenting. In the therapeutic process, the relationship between client and therapist is crucial for healing attachment wounds. The therapist can serve as a good enough parent substitute, providing the care and emotional stability that may have been absent during early development. This concept, known as limited reparenting, allows the client to experience a secure and nurturing relationship in a safe environment. Over time, this therapeutic relationship becomes a bridge, helping the client develop the capacity to reparent themselves and form healthier emotional patterns. As discussed in the book A General Theory of Love, the therapeutic alliance can foster emotional regulation and create the conditions for deep, lasting healing. By building this supportive relationship, therapists help clients repair attachment injuries and deactivate the cell danger response, CDR, moving them toward greater emotional and physiological balance. Building secure attachment in adulthood through targeted therapies. While early attachment wounds can have lasting effects, therapy and self-awareness can help develop more secure attachment patterns in adulthood. By integrating therapies like brain spotting, clay field therapy, and family constellation work, individuals can heal deep-seated attachment wounds, deactivate the CDR, and restore balance to their mind and body. Key takeaways. Attachment theory highlights the crucial role of early relationships in shaping emotional and physiological responses to trauma. Trauma and attachment disruptions trigger the cell danger response, CDR, leading to chronic physiological and emotional challenges. Therapeutic interventions like brain spotting, clay field therapy, and family constellation work can heal attachment wounds and deactivate the CDR. Limited reparenting within the client-therapist alliance offers a pathway to repairing attachment injuries and developing emotional resilience. Prenatal and birth trauma, influenced by factors such as maternal cortisol, can activate the CDR from the earliest stages of life, impacting attachment patterns. References: Bowlby, J. 1969. Attachment and Loss, Volume First Attachment. Basic Books. Lewis T., Amini F., and Lannon R. 2000. A General Theory of Love. Vintage Books. Navio, R.K., 2014. Metabolic Features of the Cell Danger Response. Mitochondrion 16 7-17. https://doy.org 10.1016/jmito.2013.8.06. Porges S.W., 2011. The Polyvagal Theory, Neurophysiological Foundations of Emotions, Attachment, Communication, and Self-Regulation. W. W. Norton and Company. Shore. A.N. 2003. Affect Regulation and the Repair of the Self. W. W. Norton and Company. Van der Kolk. B.A. 2014. The Body Keeps the Score. Brain, Mind, and Body in the Healing of Trauma. Penguin Books.